Boom, 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 boom. Do, 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 do. Good morning, everyone. Kitty Coo, Gianna Marie, good morning. Welcome to Coffee Brew, Crime Recap and Chat Show. I hope we had a wonderful week. Coffee's hot. Time to get the pot started. Mark Stevens, Shenadul, Dooley, Shenaduli. I don't have my glasses on. Hold on. I think that's an L. Oh yeah. Good morning, Gazap. Hope all is well. It is. Good morning to everyone. I got tiny fingerprints on my glasses. I wonder where those came from. Hello from Chicagoland, Will and everyone. Good morning, Michelle. I can't. Hold on a second. I got to put my glasses on before I read anybody else's names. Good morning, good morning, good morning. What's up with I was reading it and went by. What's up with the escape guy, Gianna Marie? I believe today is day 10. Day 10 since he escaped. I haven't checked on it this morning to see if there's anything new about it, but I do believe he is still on the run. Michelle, sorry. Sorry there. I didn't mean to butcher your name. Until I put my glasses on, everything's kind of fuzzy. I thought that was an L there. Without my glasses, the two L's look like one. And I was like, is that an E-L-E? I was like, nah. I should know better. I can't read anything that's this close to my face without my glasses on. I should have known better than try to look at something that's like 3 feet away. He's still out there toodalooing around. Yes, he is. Well, I hope they catch him soon. From what I understand, he's escaped the perimeter. They believe now that he's outside of the perimeter where they were originally looking for him. But I have something on him. He's on today's recap, along with our dumb criminal of the week. You got it. A December baby too. You think Mike says he thinks he's long gone? Becca Peoples, good morning, good evening, whatever time it may be where you are. Hello, everyone. Duct Tape Bandit here. Duct Tape Bandit. Now, there's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Becca Peoples. Well, Duct Tape Bandit, I hope you've been doing well. And thank you for joining us this morning. Just wanted to pop in and say hello and ask, please say a prayer for me. My life has not been good. It is getting worse each day. Well, I will pray for you and say a prayer for you, Duct Tape Bandit. Lemon Pie, good morning. Yeah. Be strong, though, Becca people. Be strong. Just like Gazap said. Sorry to hear. Becca Peoples, God bless you. God bless each and every one of you. All right, let's get this party started. Saturday morning coffee brew crime recap show. These are the cases that I've been following for the last 7 days from September 1st through the 8th. Some of these I've done videos on, and some of them I haven't. If I have done a video on it, I will note that on the actual slide itself. As for everything that I do on this channel and everything that I'm about to cover, viewer discretion is strongly advised. This content is not meant for all audiences and not for all ages either. And I have to actually say that. I don't know why you would tune into a true crime channel and think I'm going to talk about puppy dogs, but apparently some people love to complain. All right. First case or thing that I wanted to talk about is there's a new program revealed this past Thursday. The Attorney General Dave Yost of the BCI and Stark County Sheriff's Department allows investigators to manipulate 3D scans of reconstructed sculptures to create lifelike images. The old one that where it says old is what they used to look like. They were done with clay, and they're still done with clay to a large extent of the time. But now they're able to make a reconstructed likeness look like the new one. I know it's a man and a woman, but they can reconstruct it and make it look like a lifelike photograph. Now, this new 3D imaging can do everything from reconstructing not only the face, and for identifying unidentified remains, but it can also more precisely down to the quarter of an inch tell you how tall the individual was. Before then they would actually measure the bones and they would be able to come within a couple of inches of what they believed the actual height or distance of an individual was. But now they can get it down within a quarter of an inch. This new program was announced that and they've been working on it for the last 3 years, but they just finally released it this past Thursday or told the general public about it. And they're going to be sharing this with other law enforcement agencies across the United States and helping identify and close cold cases. So it's pretty amazing that where science and technology are both crossing the same areas here. Next one. Danny Masterson, Hyde from That 70s Show, was sentenced this past week to 30 years in prison for 2 counts of rape he was convicted of 4 months ago. These charges stem from crimes that he allegedly committed back in 2001 through 2003. They did not identify the victims other than Jane Doe number 1, 2, and 3. And then his ex-girlfriend was one of the alleged, complainants as well. But Jane Doe number 1, 2, and 3. Will they come out and be identified? That's going to be up to the individual themselves to come forward and talk about it, because the case in identifying the actual ladies who made the allegations against him, I'm not saying he's innocent. I'm just saying that these people who came forward, there's a lot to it. And the charges that he was convicted of, here we are 20 plus years later from the time of the actual alleged event. Did they come forward? Yes, they did. But there is a huge amount of, what's the best way to put it? Not cover up, silencing of the victims because of the reach of Scientology with not only within the law enforcement community there, but also those who are higher up within the church itself helped squash any type of reports, or allegations against any member. And they do it from everybody from Danny Masterson, John Travolta, Tom Cruise, whoever may be a member, they try to make sure that the allegations against them, any member, never come to the light of day. So, but he was convicted and sentenced to 30 years to life in prison. He does, through his attorney, said that he plans to not only um, fight the actual conviction, but he's going to fight the sentence as well, because the 30 years is way beyond what the standard range is in the state of California for either one. In case you're wondering, on 2 first-time charges of rape, the actual standard sentence that has been given down in the state of California is 17 years, is what the average is. That's not the sentencing range says 5 years for this or 10 years for that or 15 years for that. That's the actual standard range for 2 counts that he was actually convicted of. But the judge threw the book at him for 30 years for it. Next one is dumbass Jared Lasik. Well, this past week, his attorney filed a motion with the court that he wants the courtroom closed. He doesn't want any WebEx for the next case that hearing to be televised. They don't want any reporters, and they want the gallery, which is where the general public would sit. They want it cleared when they hear his next case and going on from here. Now, we have a little thing here in the United States called the Constitution and Bill of Rights, and which guarantees us free access to public hearings, to be judged by your peers. And he wants the courtroom closed, cleared of everyone, no reporters, nothing at all. He doesn't want WebEx. He wants it all completely shut down. And then that's supposed to say rabid friends, not rabbit, spelled wrong, but rabid. His rabid fans of Adventures with Purpose and Jared Lasik have been trying to get people who are talking about the case and on Facebook, Meta. They're bulk reporting them for content that is against the terms of agreement. They found that they think that that's the best way to do it. I've had 2 such complaints filed against me with Facebook, where they removed live stream and 1 video from that I streamed through YouTube, and I also streamed to Twitch, Facebook, and X, Twitter, whatever. But they got 2 of them shut down. And then I filed, my rebuttal, and I got both of those, 1 live stream, 1 video back, but they were reported for violations of terms of agreement with Twitter, not Twitter, but with Facebook and with Meta, same company. So they're doing it because they believe there's no way Jared ever could have done something like this. And it's been 30 years. Why are we going after someone 30 years later? I don't know. We just went after, Danny Masterson for 20 years. So, I mean, and Jared was 17 when he raped the 9-year-old little girl, his niece. So I guess look, if as long as it's a family member, it's okay, right? That's sarcasm, ladies and gentlemen. Sarcasm. All right, next one. Lori Vallow Daybell. Through her attorney, Jim Archibald, officially filed her appeal of her conviction of murdering both her children and conspiracy, in the charge to kill Chad Daybell's wife, Tammy Daybell. Now, this will go up on appeal, not anytime soon, but they have filed the paperwork that they're appealing the conviction. She's currently in Arizona awaiting trial there. But what is going to happen next is they're going to have to appoint her an appellate attorney because she is what they call indigent of the state of Idaho. That's how they actually phrase it in the state of Idaho, indigent to the state for her legal needs, because she has no money to hire an appellate attorney, nor has she had any money to pay Mr. Archibald. Archibald's been paid by the state of Idaho up to this point. here within the next maybe month, 2 months down the road, if not already. Jim Archibald will not step aside completely. He will take what's called a second seat in her defense, and they will appoint her an appellate attorney. Now, that appellate attorney is only going to deal with the issue of appeal of the actual convictions and sentencing for her in the state of Idaho. They'll most likely want to push this off, the appellate attorney, until after they're done with the state of Arizona. And that way they can get another appellate attorney in Arizona if she's convicted to appeal both of the convictions at the same time. There's no reason to, go through two different appeals, one for Idaho, one for Arizona, with two different attorneys and two different court cases all at the same time. They can appeal it all that, that she was mentally incompetent or whatever, at the time, or she didn't know, what was going on, and that it was all Chad. Because she's going to blame Chad. She's going to blame Alex. She's going to blame everybody but herself, because this is pretty much her MO. She's always blamed everyone for anything that has gone wrong in her life. Why did she suck at Wheel of Fortune? Why did she suck as a beauty queen? Those are all somebody else's fault. So, all right, next one. Ruby Frank, the lifestyle streamer, blogger, vlogger, whatever you want to call her, has been in the court, and in the news the last couple of weeks. And I've been following this, but I'm still trying to, document some of the background on her and the actual allegations, of child abuse that have been levied against her. But Ruby Frank, the family vlogger who has been arrested last week, appeared in court for the first time this past Friday. She faces 6 felony child abuse charges. And there's very little information to actually, that the court has released on that. You can go by what her daughter has said. You can go by what her friend, who narked her off, and the therapist, has said. But Frank, 41, has remained in police custody since her arrest last week, alongside her podcasting partner, Jody. I'm not going to hide a brand. I think it's how you pronounce it, but I'm not sure. Frankie appeared in virtual from Washington County, Utah, in jail in front of 5th District Judge Eric Gentry. He ruled that Frank will remain on a no bail hold until her next hearing, currently scheduled for September 21st. I said, I'm following the case and I'm trying to document it, but at this point, until I get more information, I don't think I'm going to be able to make a video on it, because I like to have facts to back up the allegations, and crimes that people actually commit. If I can't document it, it probably will have to wait until after her, maybe her first court hearing. Some motions are filed once she gets an attorney and everything else. So before I can make a video on it, but I am following it, ladies and gentlemen, and I do appreciate each and every one of you out there who has emailed me or text messaged me. Some of you have access to text message me from Patreon, and who have suggested the case for me to follow on. But I'm doing it. I'm just not there yet, ready to make a video on it. Next, here is the good old escaped convict himself. Escaped inmate Daniello Cavalcanti. I don't know. I'm terrible with names. Is fluent in Portuguese and Spanish speaker, according to District Attorney's Office, and is a native of Brazil, where he hid out once he was wanted for murder charges in Brazil, and they believe he's a survivalist, and he found his way out and then made it to America. Last week, Cavalcanti escaped from Chester County Prison. He has since been spotted on home security cameras and Popsicon Township, Pocopson, Township. Though at his Tuesday morning press conference, Brevin, that's the sheriff, said that he has since been caught on camera in Longwood Gardens, which is outside of the police original perimeter. There have also been sightings in other areas where they believe he may have gone even farther, as far as 20 miles outside of the extended perimeter that they originally had set up. So right now, they really don't know where he is. If he is a survivalist, and last night, if you want to watch more on this, learn more about it, Duty Ron, good friend of mine, did a really good second live stream last night just on this. So if you want to go over to YouTube and type in Duty Ron, all one word, Dutyrron, in case you're not familiar with his content and channel. Duty Ron is a retired New York City police detective, and he brings you the actual facts around a case, and he brings on people who are experts in their field of forensics and likewise, whatever they need, doctors, lawyers. He brings all the best guests on to cover a case, but I can't do it justice because I'm not obviously not all in the area either where he's got family in that area where this escaped criminal is hiding out. But if he is an actual survivalist, a lot of people think that when you are out in a survivalist situation, now I'm talking about from what I know from my time in the service, you can survive a lot longer without food than you can without water. And if he's out into the woods somewhere, he might be able to find berries. He might be able to find, wild edibles like, onions or potatoes to eat to survive if he can stay out longer. But we know he's been breaking into summer cabins and alike, as it's been going along. That's where he's been caught on footage, on surveillance camera footage on homes and Ring doorbells. But he's been breaking in and stealing, just about anything that he needs for a survivalist situation. And he's got himself a backpack at this point where he's probably been putting, dry goods, not canned goods, but dry goods that he can actually take with him. Maybe it's oats, barley, whatever, candy bars, anything to survive. One second, my wife is calling me. What? I'm live streaming right now, so you need to make this fast. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Sorry. I don't know. Why? Okay, well, I'll talk to you after I'm done. Say hi to everybody.
Hi, everybody.
All right. Love you. Bye. Well, that was fun. All right. Our dumb criminal of the week. Dude, where's my beer? This man was driving down the freeway the wrong direction and called 911 to report that a pickup truck went by him too closely and that the wrong way driver was going the wrong direction at a high rate of speed. This individual has not been named by the actual law enforcement, nor is there a photo of him at this point, because he is presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. But he was arrested and charged with DUI, open container, no valid license, no insurance, a broken tail light, that's a moving violation, and not wearing his seatbelt. All of this is a third offense for the DUI, no seatbelt, and an open container. This happened in Lancaster, Nebraska. This individual they did show a picture of his car, and it shouldn't have been on the roadway at all. It was severely banged up and the windshield was cracked, but he didn't get a ticket for that. He got lucky. And the officer said that what initially caught his attention, besides the guy who was going the wrong direction, was that the hood was bent up and obscuring the driver's vision, and it had like a safety strap across it to keep it down. But he was definitely going the wrong direction. When the officer approached him and asked him, "Do you know why I pulled you over?" The man paused for a moment and he said, "Oh shit, I'm the one going the wrong direction on the freeway, ain't I?" And then he blamed it on missing a exit or taking the wrong exit itself. It's kind of hard to understand exactly because the man was twice the legal limit at the time of his arrest, because he was taken to the local hospital. He blew twice the legal limit. Plus, he was taken to the hospital, and a blood sample was taken, and it was confirmed that he was twice the legal limit. On the floorboard of his car were several empty beer cans, and there were also empty beer cans on the passenger seat. And a nice, fresh, tall 16-ounce beer was in the cup holder right next to him that was open. Bright individual he was, and still is. If you're driving around like that, be under the jail. This morning, they'd feed me with a bean flip. Yeah, being drunk can definitely make things like that happen. It's surprising. So, with this said, I wanted to tell everybody a little side story about an event that happened to me. This happened during the COVID closure. All right, when everything was closed. I was driving back from one city to my house, and which is probably about a 3 mile, 4 miles total distance in a straight line, one road. And I saw a man turning off of one highway onto the road, highway that I was on, and this man was all over the damn road, into one lane, into another lane, no turn signals, blew through a stop sign, not even hitting the brakes, just went right through the intersection. So I called 911 and I reported the incident to 911, and I followed the man. I know it's a man because I got up alongside the truck to actually see him. But the man hit the curb, drove down the sidewalk, went through not only the stop sign, but barely came to a stop in the middle of the intersection of a four-way, blinking red light. Then went through and drove down the sidewalk some more. I followed him for almost that 4 miles, on that road, until he made an illegal, abrupt left-hand turn, and I couldn't turn, left because, well, obviously it would have been illegal for me to go over 3 different lanes of traffic to make it, through a light, and follow him. But they never stopped him. So this man, it was either, I don't know if he was high, drunk, having a medical emergency. Maybe he's diabetic and he was, having a medical issue. I don't know. I just know that the man was unsafe to be, on the roads in any condition at all. But they never did find the guy. Never did stop him. So people are out there like that. You got to be safe out there on the roads, because you never know what's going to come around the next corner. And they say most accidents, car accidents, happen within within a mile of your own home. It's scary as hell, because I mean, I watched, if someone would have been on the sidewalk, or if there was a car parked alongside the street, he would have hit everything, because he was up on the curb and down into the road on the oncoming traffic. He was everywhere, and it wasn't like just a little over the line. He was way over the line, into oncoming traffic, if there was traffic coming that direction. But we were both going in the same direction, and it's 2 lanes of this going that direction, 2 lanes coming this direction, and then a turn lane in the middle. And he was. I follow the drunk drivers. It's not funny. Yeah, not funny at all. If you're gonna drink, do the responsible thing. Call an Uber, a Lyft, call a friend, walk home. I mean, what does an Uber or Lyft cost? Not even $30 if you're in town, to get home, plus tip, gratuity for the driver because they're not working for free, and a lot of them are struggling just to make it, anyways. But that's beside the point. $30. What's it going to cost you if you hit someone and kill them? 30,000 in legal fees. What if you get a DUI? $4,000 for a DUI versus $30 for a lift. It. I mean, you can put the app on your phone. You're going to drink. Boop, hit the app and they come and get you. A lot of jurisdictions will even, police departments, around New Year's and stuff like that. They work with towing companies. They'll come tow your damn car home for free or give you a lift. There's no reason to be out there on the roads of America drinking and driving at the same time, or when drinking then driving. Where I live, Uber and Lyft doesn't exist. There's not even a stoplight where I live. Not even a stoplight? Well, I'm sure that they have the other option, Duct Tape Bandit, Becca. People's, they have friends, family. You can always call them, those people too. I think they exist, even in small towns where there's no stoplights. Now, I've lived in several towns like that. Where I was born and raised, we don't have a stoplight. We've got one stoplight. We have one stop sign, and that is a four-way intersection when there's stop signs because there's a fountain in the middle of town. That's it. That town has one gas station. That's where pretty much everybody meets, and there's a little diner that's a separate building that's right next to the gas station. No grocery store. You have to go 10 miles to a grocery store, and then there's a giant factory outlet fireworks place that sells guns, fireworks, and liquor. What a combination, huh? But that's on the outskirts of town. I don't even know if that's really in the town limits, but that's where the tiny town where I lived when I was growing up. Now it has since expanded since then, because now it's kind of like a summer tourist destination during the summertime. But when I grew up there was nothing there. I remember when they opened it, the Dairy Queen there, the Dairy Queen in what was the damn place called? It was like Chili Dogs or something like that. It was Chili Willies or something like that, like a hot dog place. And then it became Dairy Queen. People lined up miles with their cars, just to get through the drive-through, because we never even seen a drive-through before. Dickendale, Yorkshire, UK, Hobbit country, drunk farmers on tractors. Post office and a bunch of tweakers that breed at an alarming rate. That's a great combination. You're right. Cement Shoes, good morning. Tweakers, there's towns like that all over the state where I live. Little tiny towns where there's nothing but farming community or nothing at all, and a lot of tweakers. Those tweakers are pretty inventive individuals. I just got this is a complete list of all of the prison slang for the UK. Yeah, I got this from Gemma. I don't know. I don't think she's here this morning, but yeah, there is 450 definitions of prison slang. I plan on doing a video on this really soon. I've seen a drunk farmer driving his lawnmower through town to go to get more beer. I covered a story about he wasn't a farmer. He worked on a ranch, though, who was driving a big wheels car. And according to his buddy, I don't know if he really, how much his buddy really knows, but that's where he was going in that Power Wheels, was to go get more beer. He decided he was too drunk to drive a car, so he decided to drive a Power Wheel, and he was arrested for DUI because what was that, in Alabama? I think it was, or maybe it was Georgia. But state law says any motorized powered vehicle you can be arrested on. Lawnmower, powered bicycle, if it has an electric assisted bicycle or battery operated, doesn't matter what the CCs is or anything, you can be arrested for a DUI on it, and he was. A Jeep Power Wheels. Pow pow Power Wheel. It's going to be interesting. Yeah. I printed out a script for the video that I'm going to make. A cigarette I'll give you a couple of them really quickly. A cigarette in prison in the UK is called either a skin or a lion, and that's a homemade rolled cigarette. They may also be called bats. An E-man in prison is someone who has escaped prison before, or correct some kind of supervision. An old judge is called, who passes sentence on you, is called a vanilla. A new guard is referred to as a cowboy. That's the same as here in America. HDC stands for home detention or curfew. Padmate or padmate is the person you share your cell with. But skin line. I need a bat or a skin line. They should have read up on their laws and rights like we all should, actually. That's true. It'd be surprised just how many people, and I can only speak for America, who are ignorant, and because they haven't studied, any type of law, but just the average person driving to the grocery store, they say will commit at least one traffic offense on the way to the traffic store, and after, if they're buying a lot of groceries, will commit at least one or two more on the way home. And that's from everything from not properly signaling for a lane change to rolling through a stop sign, all kinds of things that people do all the time, when it comes to driving a car. But there are a lot of people are ignorant when it comes to the actual laws, that are here in the United States. Things that people do every day that they think, are legal, but they're actually illegal. I've done some videos on it in the past, probably a couple of years back now. I've tried to cover it before. I like my cigarettes. I roll my own. Not very ladylike, but I don't give a skin. I have a. This is not mine. My buddy left it here. I gotta find the container. My buddy, he moved to Alaska. This thing has been here for a while. You can see all the dust on there, in the edges right here. But he's got a Tops roller and Tops rolling paper. There's some tobacco in here. I don't think anyone should smoke it, but this has been here forever. This entire basket, Marlboro shopping basket from a grocery store, all this stuff in here is his. He left it here a long time ago, but he now lives in Alaska, outside of Juneau. I have a friend who gets speeding tickets every month. More money than senses. Yeah. Well, I've been there. I can't talk badly about people who speed. I've been there, especially when I was in my early 20s. One time on Highway 405 outside of Seattle, I got pulled over by the same state trooper back to back. He clocked me doing like 100 something, and I took the speeding ticket, I wadded it up and threw it on the floorboard, and I thought he was gone, but he was just behind my vision, still alongside my car. And I took off down the freeway, figuring, he's going to probably wait for another car to come by him speeding. But no, he followed me, and he got me again. I'm not proud to say it, but I was young and dumb back then. I spent an awful lot of money in speeding tickets. So much so, I was what Washington State called an habitual driving offender. I, in a given month, I spent more in speeding tickets than I did in actual parking. I worked downtown Seattle, and it was $1,100 for my parking spot downtown Seattle, just off of First Street. I spent more in tickets than I did, and then for my parking. Yeah, using control. It's the drunks that need being locked up. That's true. Was it a race car? Uh, Pretty much, Kitty Q. It was a 1985 Ford Mustang with a 5.0 with a Paxton supercharger. I'd spent so much money on that stupid car, and I mean, you could spin the thing out just by hitting the gas at a dead stop. It was unsafe to be on the freeway or roadway, but I didn't care. I didn't think about anybody else on the freeway or roadway either. I don't know. I don't have an excuse for it. I'm just young and dumb, but I did it anyway. So that's the great thing about maturity is I've definitely learned my lesson. I haven't had ticket. Well, I got a parking ticket, but besides that parking ticket, because the parking meter wasn't working correctly, that's a whole nother story. But I got a parking ticket in Spokane, Washington. Besides that, I haven't had a moving violation in 28 years, something like that. There's nothing on my driving record because I actually had to have it pulled for. Um, I used to help my buddy who owns a repo business, and I had to be bonded and insured. And part of that, they had to pull what's called a driver's, it's like a record to be licensed and bond. I didn't repo cars. I just worked at his lot. He would go hook them up and bring the cars back, and I inventoried the car and took pictures of it because you'd be surprised how many people get their cars repoed and they're like, "Oh, you dented the hell out of it. You did all this damage to it." When he didn't, but he had a document, and I had to take photos of the car and the condition and mileage and everything else on the car for the whoever had the loan on it. He's still in business to this day doing the same thing. I was only helping him out when he had his main employee, number two guy, was out with he had back surgery, so he was going to be out like 2 months. So I worked for him for 2 months, doing that. Hello, I'm back. I had a Corvette T-top. I got stolen. Oh man, I'm sorry about that. Was it a '70s like Stingray or Corvette? Um, Sasha, good morning and welcome to this morning's coffee brew crime recap show. We're just enjoying the second half of the show right now, the open chat. But welcome. It's been 20 years for me. I have two Mustangs and a Camaro now. I set the cruise control everywhere I go, though. Well, good for you, Kitty Q. Camaro. A bitchin' Camaro. That reminds me of a song by the Dead Milkmen. Bitchin' Camaro. I think that's on Big Lizard in My Backyard album. Bitchin' Camaro. 70 Stingray. There you go. That'd be a nice car to have. I'm sorry it got stolen. All I own is trucks. Well, my wife has a Chevy Traverse, and she's got a 65 Volkswagen Beetle that probably will never see the road again because her father took it apart, and it's a whole long story, but I don't think he's ever going to fix it. But I have a 1971 Ford F100 that I'm doing a complete ground up restoration on. It's sitting in a rotisserie. That's what we call it, a rotisserie. The cab itself is on that in my other garage, and the frame is sitting outside right now. There's nothing on the frame. It's been stripped down and then powder coated, so it's not rusting away. Motor's on the engine stand, transmission sitting on the floor. It's one of those projects where I'm gonna get to it eventually. And then I own a 1996 Dodge 1500 second gen truck that's going to outlive every damn one of us. I bought this truck off my sister, and I have put a total of $120 in actual repairs to the truck since I bought it. And it's well over 700,000 miles right now. It just keeps on going. Just keeps on going and going and going. And happy Saturday, Sasha, to you as well. I didn't even see that. I thought it said Will the first time too. Happy Saturday, I hope my dad rebuilt a 76 Chevelle for racing. Ooh, that'd be cool. Like drag racing? Because a 76 Chevelle, like circle track that. I mean, maybe like street stock events, stuff like that. I have quite a few friends who used to race circle track here in Washington State. But a lot of the raceways are long and gone now. They're currently in the process of demolishing the Yakima Speedway. If whatever's left of it now. Drag racing. I'll send you a pic. Oh, please do, Kitty Q. Please do. Did I tell everybody about this awesome book that Kitty Q told me about? Serial Killer Calendar. This Day in a Killer History Book. Let's look and see what today's is. Today is the 9th. September 9th. Every day of the year is covered, by the way. Ooh, how do you pronounce that one? Frikakava? September 9th, 1936 through April 13th, 1961 was a Czechoslovakian serial killer convicted for killing 2 newborn babies. Ew. Wow. Maria Katharina Swansburg as well on this day, 1839, in Linden, and through April 11th, 1915, was a Dutch serial killer. It's a very interesting read. I've read through the entire book. Very interesting. Well, we got about another minute right now, ladies and gentlemen. So while I'm here, and before I go, if you enjoyed this, please give this morning's crime and recap in chat a thumbs up. I would appreciate it. If you're not a subscriber to my channel, I would hope that you certainly will. It's absolutely free to subscribe. It's free to give a thumbs up to the content that you enjoy. and it helps get the word out basically to YouTube that people enjoy the content and to suggest it to more people. Right now, only 18% of all the people who watch my content are subscribed to my channel. In the last 3 months alone, I've had 1,200,000 views on all of my content in the last 3 months, and only 18% are subscribed. I don't even care if you turn on the bell icon to be notified of everything. Just give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I ask nothing else of anyone else out there. Don't want your money, don't need your money. All I need is people subscribe and join along, so you know when I do a new content, maybe they want to enjoy it. Tomorrow night, we are playing live trivia here on YouTube. You can also catch it on Twitch, Twitter, X, Meta, Facebook, Discord, wherever you know whatever platform you prefer to watch it on. It's streamed to all of those platforms. So please give this a thumbs up and consider subscribing. I would appreciate it if you would. I'm guessing I'm on replay crew this week because I overslept. I'm sorry, Cement Shoes, but good morning, Cement Shoes. Thank you for joining us today. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again. Now I have to go attend to whatever my son and my wife called me about. Otherwise, I would go much longer. But thank you again. Everyone, have a terrific weekend. I hope to see you tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for live trivia. Multiple choice questions, and you're only playing against yourself. You're not against anybody else. There's no scoreboard or anything to be worried about. But thank you again, everyone. Bye. All right. I'll look forward to that the email, Kitty Q.